Here we are. It's going to fade. Approaching Nirvana into the background. Yeah, it seems like the primary ingestion server for YouTube is having problems. I'm on the backup, and even that seems to be kind of sketchy at the moment. We'll see. Give it time, give it time. Carpe Caffeine, everybody. How is your Sunday going? Welcome to another episode of The Editing Room. These always get low numbers watching, but tons of feedback after the fact. So it's okay if there's just 4 or 5 of us. That's fine. We can cope. Let's see, we've got Iridian Tribal. We've got Gabbro. We've got Stephen Burns watching. And some other people lurking back there in the darkness. That's fine, that's fine. Today I actually want to go over, specifically, Audacity. And using Audacity. Audacity is one of the most powerful and free tools you can use as a video processor, video editor, person that does content. It's got a lot of capability, a lot of functionality that most people don't even know about. And we're going to go over that. If you do not already have Audacity downloaded, there's a link in the download below. I'm actually gonna just stop the music there real quick. Let's swap over to desktop. There we go. If you go to audacityteam.org, there's actually a link for Audacity. It exists on Mac, Windows, and GNU Linux. Great tool. And again, as I said, it's free. There's no shareware. It's not pay later. You can donate to the team if you want to, but otherwise it is free. It's as free as people get it. I'm deciphering the mysteries of railcraft signaling while absorbing Vagram's wisdom. Good luck with that, Stephen Burns. So yes, if you do not already have it, I would highly recommend going to audacityteam.org, grabbing yourself a free copy of Audacity, and then you can follow along later. Do not forget, this live stream is going to get reposted later in the form of a video to my channel, youtube.com/VagramsChance. If you like this kind of content, if you like some of these helpful tutorials I'm putting out, and you feel like supporting me, you can do so by using that little dollar symbol if you're chatting on gaming.youtube.com, or maybe you are on my main YouTube page, that little Google tip jar thing over in the top right-hand corner under my channel banner. Stuff like that goes a long way. Really, really helps towards running the channel and balancing things out. Yeah. So, let's minimize this and actually get to the fun at hand. This is Audacity. Let's close, for now, Winamp. This is Audacity, really simple little program. When you open it up, the first thing I actually want you to do is go to the edit menu, and go to preferences. There is all of these different settings, things you can tweak. I'm not going to go over most of it. The only thing I want to go over is right here. Right in between projects and spectrograms is libraries. This is very important. Libraries has a download link, and it will take you to this page right here. There's instructions for Windows. It's this section right here. There's instructions for Mac OS X, and I think there's even Linux Unix instructions down here. I use, of course, the Windows instructions. Go to the external page, LAME, which is an abbreviation of some kind for media encoders, a specific kind of media encoder. And then you click on that to open this page. It goes through all of the actual steps, and it's really simple. Basically, when you download, you'll be downloading 2 things, LAME and FFmpeg, 2 very, very powerful tools that are kind of hard to use because they're normally command line. Well, when you install those and then start up Audacity again, close it down, install those 2 things, and then restart it, it will automatically detect them. And you'll see them right here. See, I have LAME 3.99.3 installed, and then I have FFmpeg, all these different versions. It is seeing that they're automatically installed. When you do that, suddenly there's a lot of capability you do not get with the default Audacity. And both of those codecs are free, again, to install. We still have not spent any money. So, now I've got 2 little files over here, top right corner of the video. You can probably barely see them. This one's pretty simple. This one's pretty complex. I'm going to start with the simple one first. I'm literally just going to left-click drag. This is an MP4. and release it onto Audacity. Suddenly we get this select streams to import. These are your audio channels. If I just highlight all of them and hit OK, because how I have OBS Studio set up, another free piece of software, to record, it records 4 audio channels. The first one is everything combined. Just in case I throw a video into my editor or I start playing it in VLC to check and make sure it's okay, I can hear all the audio, I can hear everything. Then, that's this channel right here. I'm going to mute that channel. This second channel right here would normally be game audio. This is a vlog video, so it doesn't actually have any game audio. I'll just mute that for fun. Then there is this channel, which is my voice, and this one down here at the very bottom would be voice comms, normally. So, this is probably not the best of examples. Let me just close that real quick. I'm actually just going to, let's close, no set. I'm not going to save changes. And let's re-expand all the way over here. So I'm going to get a bigger file. This is going to be a lot longer. This one's only like 4 minutes. The second one's 30 minutes, and we've used it in the previous version of the editing room. I'm going to extract all of the channels, and we'll be able to go over this a couple of steps at a time. Now, this is one way that you can separate out audio tracks. This is how you can actually get different audio tracks that's in a video file and peel them out and save them separately if you want to. But that's not really what I want to show you here. I'm going to show you how you can actually, even if you have a normal mixer that only handles one channel of audio, like it doesn't handle files with multiple audio tracks, then even if it has, that limitation, you can still get really good audio that you can bring in with your video. I'm going to show you how to do that. This is the boring part. This is where we wait for the file to get extracted. But this is pretty simple, about 5 to 10 minutes of work with Audacity, even on a really big file, and you can save yourself hours of work on the back end editing. Trust me. So how's everybody doing? Well, this is actually extracting. Let's switch back to Basecam. It's been a good Sunday for me. Drinking some coffee. I had my first coffee for before 2 p.m. before 2 in the afternoon. I had my first morning cup of coffee in 2 weeks. Medication they got for my ulcer is really helping. It is really keeping things under control, so I'm feeling back to normal, feeling back on schedule. IguanaTube, what's going on? The coffee of choice today is actually Swiss Water Decaf. It's very, very expensive decaf. I have had my caffeinated cup for today. Because of my ulcer, I have to limit how much caffeinated coffee I've got that I drink. So if I'm going to be drinking a lot, usually I'll drink 1, maybe 2 cups of normal, and then all the rest of the day it's going to be decaf. Swiss Water Decaf is one of the best ways to get the caffeine out of coffee beans without killing the flavor and without using nasty chemicals. It is cold water extraction process. Well, we got some action. Hang on a sec. Let's go back to the screen. Here we go. So this is what this file looks like. It's 30 minutes. You can see all the way over here on the right-hand side. It's 35 minutes plus a little bit extra. And this is the entire length, the whole thing. Yeah, we've had IguanaTube and Craig Plays. Kasami will join us. Now, there's going to be a lot of things you're going to notice right off the bat. First of all, this first track is a little bit peaky at points, and there's a reasoning for that. This is my combined audio. I have no use for this track whatsoever. I'm just going to click X and drop it. So this is game audio right here. This track I have highlighted is game audio. This track right here is me, and this peaky mess is voice comms. So the first thing I'm going to do is come over here. I'm going to hit amplify, but instead of doing a positive amplification number, I'm going to do about -8. It's guesswork. Really it is. What you'll notice is new peak amplitude is -5.7 dB. That is up to 0 from a scale of basically negative infinity up to 0. That is on a scale how loud that's going to be. Allow clipping. I leave that unchecked because I don't want clipping. Clipping makes it sound really peaky, really nasty. Yeah, IguanaTube says he's not up to much, just some YouTube watching. So yeah, this is going to process real quick on this third channel, and you'll see the peaks come down considerably. It's not going to make it sound better per se. It's just going to make it sound less overwhelming. It won't be as loud of a mess. Now, I usually do the same thing on mine sometimes if there's a lot of episodes of me shouting, or you'll see occasional peaks like this. But since I'm seeing only periodic ones and not a whole bunch, I'm just going to leave it. So here's where some really interesting tricks come, okay? I'm going to highlight this first channel. I think I need to highlight this one. And then we're going to go to Auto Duck. Now, a lot of these are subject to your own personal choice. Sometimes I like the default for this is actually -12. Sometimes I like knocking it up to about -18. I'm going to do... This is the threshold that counts as audio when I am talking. I'll bump that all the way down to -45 because that's basically the threshold I have for my microphone, for all my noise gate stuff. Anything louder than 45 decibels and the whole system comes alive and it sees that I'm talking. Otherwise, it does nothing. That way, I don't get a whole bunch of background noise with air conditioners. But that's a whole nother video. I put this at -45. It's just a good number. This is how much it's going to duck the channel in question. Now, here's what I'm trying to remember, is if I'm ducking the main channel or ducking the main channel in comparison to this one. I haven't done this in a while. So there is a fade in length and a fade out length. We can actually do these longer or shorter. I'm just going to go with the defaults. We're going to hit OK. And it is going to process. Cooking Apple, what's going on? Welcome to the editing room. Oh, gosh. Excuse me. Let me get some water. That's one thing that also can change my coffee consumption is the weather outside. When it starts getting towards the general Texas summer, I drink less hot coffee. I'll drink less coffee overall, and I'll scale back to iced coffee. Helps a lot. That way I don't feel like I'm boiling alive. Okay. Now, if I'm remembering this correctly, there we go. Okay, so suddenly this channel is actually being lowered in volume every time I talk, and you can actually see the comparison here. If we go to, let's go. So what you can actually hear now is that this channel is looked at the two channels that follow it. Every time one of these two channels makes noise that's greater than -45 dB, higher than a certain threshold, this channel lowers in threshold, lowers in volume. Now, I am hearing that -18 is a little too much. So I'm just going to do Control Z. I'm going to undo what we just did. Come on, Audacity. There we go. And then I'm just going to do it again. Auto duck, but instead of -18, I'm just going to do -12. Stick with all the other numbers. And it's going to feel a bit less ham-fisted. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a sec. I bet I have my playbacks changed. I can fix that. Once this processes, I can't do anything. I have a complicated audio setup, which I did a video on last week. So periodically, I have to adjust things that I've forgotten about. This is where another point where in Audacity's favor, it's very simple. Right up here, you see this thing that says, it's got the little speaker. I'm going to do drop down, and we're going to do, I think, that one. Let's see if I can remember my own setup. Ah, there we go.
I may have accidentally just grappling hooked my way into the middle of the enemy and then died horribly. Okay, I see
Mister,
a sniper.
we got a Mercy over there that's causing me some grief.
I dislike Mercy with a passion.
Shouldn't be that loud. Here, let me duck it down. Hang on a sec. Better. This is a good team.
Stop moving, Mercy. There appears to be two Mercies,
There we go.
and they're healing each other.
That's not that loud when I play it back. There's two Pharahs. I don't know, maybe. I'm not sure.
Ow. There's a sniper way off in the distance.
So basically what we have now is the audio is getting automatically lowered anytime any of the lower channels talk. Now, let's say, just hypothetically, I'm going to undo that auto duck again. Audacity is going to think, and then you're going to see the change. Got to think. Miss Corianche is here, the Mad Dutchman himself. Undoing can be a little cumbersome when you have this big of a file. Let's see if I've overwhelmed poor Audacity. I'm not going to call Audacity a bulletproof solution. However, it is very, very good. Sometimes you just have to give it time. So this is what it originally looks like. Let's say I only want the audio on this game track to get lowered when I talk, not when my comrades talk. That would be an issue of moving the audio tracks. Now, this top one is Team Voice. This one I look at, I do auto duck. We're going to do the same settings. We're going to let it process. And now it's only going to lower in volume when I talk, not when anybody else talks. Yeah, editing anything to destroy your PC hardware. Very, very accurate, Iridian Tribal. That dreaded undo button. Actually, I don't use undo a lot. I actually use Control Z and Control Y, undo and redo. I've been using so many programs, that's just a Windows default, and I've been using that in some capacity or another for so many years that it becomes second nature. See, now that processed a lot quicker because it's only comparing against the channel below it. Autodeck always looks at the channels below it. Always. So when this was on top, it had to compare against my voice and Com's voice, right? It was checking this channel and this channel. But since I moved Com voice up, now it only has to check against mine. And you'll see stretches where it's louder even when somebody here is talking. That's intentional. So now, if we listen to certain parts of it, let's do there. Reel them in and just shot.
I really don't want to be on the ground level. I didn't want to do that at all.
Ah, there we go.
I may have accidentally just grappling hooked my way into the middle of the enemy and then died horribly.
So that's one of the ways that you can actually manipulate and edit a lot, or manipulate how Audacity sees things in what order that it actually does stuff in. I'm actually going to do undo again. You notice how much simpler it is. I'm going to put this on top again, and then we're just going to go with the first option. I like it when it compares to both, and when it actually looks at both channels and auto ducks against both. It takes a little bit longer to do, but that's fine. What are the basic specs of your machine? CPU, GPU, RAM, etc. I can actually show you that, I think. Whoops, wrong window. That's it right there. That is my machine. It's an Intel Core i7 4790K. That's basically a Core i7 that runs at about 4 gigahertz. I have not overclocked it because I'm not a big overclocking enthusiast. I trust the manufacturers. Call me crazy. 16 gigs of RAM. I do not have a ton of memory. It's not like I've got 32 or 64 gigs of memory. I could get more, and I do want to get more, but right now I've just got 16 gigs of RAM. 64-bit operating system. I've got, for a GPU, I've got an NVIDIA GeForce 960, GTX 960, really good card. I really like it. I would love to upgrade to a 1070 later this year, but those things are going to be about $350. We'll see. Does that answer your question, Mr. Stephen Burns? Hopefully that does. So now I've got what I want in audio. Now let's say if I wanted to, there's a particular point where I cough or for whatever reason. If I wanted to, I just click on that little button, that little icon at the top there that looks like a magnifying glass. I'm left click dragging, and this zooms into that section. So now, if I wanted to, I could highlight just this.
Objective. You did good.
Dang it, missed him.
Objective.
Let's do this one down here. Well, I kept him occupied. If I wanted to, I could go up to Effect, Generate, Silence, and just hit OK. Boom. It just put silence over that highlighted section of audio. I just eliminated a cough. Now, I don't do any cutting here. You're not going to trim. You're not going to pull parts out. I'm going to show you why later. But we can go back out to... Can't remember. Oh, yeah, there we go. Just hold down Control and scroll out with the mouse wheel. So basically now we've got something that I want to do. I want to do export audio. I'm going to export all of it. And we're actually going to go over to where I normally put, let's go over to raw video. And I'm actually going to do this as an MP3 file. We're just going to save this. Your tracks will be mixed down to 2 stereo channels in exported file. That's fine. Don't show that warning again. I don't know why you're coming up over here. Come up over here. I never bother filling this stuff out. You hit OK. And it's going to export everything at a specific bit rate. Now, you can change what bit rate you want the audio to be at in your default settings. You go up to Edit and Preferences. It's really simple. See you later, Iguana. From what game is this audio? Zep, that's actually from Overwatch. That's from a couple of weeks ago. I've been editing this one Overwatch 30-minute test video Overwatch file for like 3 weeks now. So, and Overwatch comes out tomorrow, day after tomorrow, whatever. So yeah. Iridian Tribal says the GTX 1070 looks nice. I'll be waiting for the eventual 1080 Ti when it arrives next spring, summer. I'm just going to probably get a 1070 and it'll do me for like 4 or 5 years. So yeah. So we wait for this to actually save, and we're going to go to the next step. This is the fun part. Okay, that is done. I'm just going to minimize this real quick. We've got, boom, Adobe Premiere, okay? Let's say, hypothetically, that you were, import these two, that you were actually not using Adobe Premiere. You're using something simpler, Windows Movie Maker. Let's say, if you pulled this file in and you started a new project with this video file, you would not see there we go. You wouldn't see this, right? You would not see these 4 audio tracks. Instead, what you would actually see, let's let this thing figure out what it's doing for just a second. Time sinks everywhere. Yeah, exactly. But a little bit of work goes a long way. Let's unlink all of these. And basically what you would actually see is this. You would have one video track and one audio track. And that one audio track, because of how I have my audio set up, would be a mess. It would be all of the actual audio tracks, all the audio devices from OBS mixed together into one track. There would be no balancing. There would be no auto ducking, nothing. So basically, all you do is mute that. And then you've got this file, this MP3 file that you made right here. You're just going to bring it down here, put it on as a new track, and it's going to be exactly the same length. Sometimes you get a second or two extra on the back end, but the start point is always the same. I don't know why. It's like not a second, but it's like a fraction of a second longer. And that has something to do with how Audacity wraps the file up, but pretty much the start points are always the same. So you can, and the great part is you can even use this first audio track. You see how they match up? This first audio track to even match up the second audio track. So it's really good. It's really easy. Now I basically have this project audio that I can ignore. Let's go. Let's go somewhere in the middle. I don't know, maybe. I'm not sure.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Ow. There's a sniper way off in the distance. But...
Yeah, there's a Widowmaker on their team that's actually really good.
yeah. She just shot me in the face.
And Farrah just blasted me with the edge.
Oh no, they're taking the objective. Oh no, they took the objective.
So,
Ultimate ready.
So basically, that's an easy way that you can actually use Audacity to make your audio a lot better, especially if you can't afford stuff like Adobe Premiere. If you're still using Windows Movie Maker, or if you're using, Serif Movie Plus, or Magic's Movie Edit, yada, 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 all those things. This is a really good way that you can actually make your audio better. Let's see. Saint S says, Vagram, can you show us how to use your OBS grid on Rocat because of the download that you linked in your video didn't work? Really? I actually have to go double check that download link, but it should work. It should just be a link to a Dropbox file, but we'll see. Yeah, I can go over that briefly. Nope, that's the wrong one. I mean, basically, this is Rocat, and I actually have a customized grid. I went through in my tutorial video how to actually customize the grid, how to add the different buttons. Basically, all each one of these buttons are, and I can even click one of these. Let's see if I can actually... Is it editor? Oh, it's probably because I'm actually... never mind. It's okay. But basically, OBS, all this is a custom grid with buttons that are just shortcuts, and they use the Alt keys. They use the hotkeys for OBS. So in OBS, this is where the infinite comes up. Hang on a sec. This is going to be weird. Ooh, okay. So in OBS, if you go into settings, hotkeys, this is the part that everybody seems to neglect. Break, the break button, you just left click on this once, hit that button on the actual grid that you bound some keystrokes to, and it will use that keystroke to switch to that scene. So every single scene, I actually have Alt numpad to go to it. That's how I do that. It's really simple. If you need a further explainer, I can actually put out another video going more in depth into it later if you want me to. Also, if you want to, you can go to forum.vagram.com. We actually have a kind of a technical AV room, kind of a forum, like for this editing room stuff. I can actually post in there more in-depth and a better link to the actual file so that you can import if you want me to do that. So that might be a better way for me to post that file and get you to actually get it. But what I do is open the WinRAR and it gives me a .jpsk and a JSON. It doesn't let me add it to the grid. You have to import those. When you actually bring up, oh gosh, where did it go? In here, drop down menu. There is, where is it? Editor? Yeah, import a package and export a package. Import a package imports a totally new grid. So basically, you would make a new grid and then import those files. That's what that is. That's the only thing those are for. So yeah. Yeah, if you're still confused about it, go to forum.vagram.com, make a little post on the forums, and I will actually help you out there. Or you can go to the League of Ordinary Gamers Discord. We have a Discord that's actually got an editing room, chat room that you can go ask questions and all of this stuff. Very, very cool. So yeah, we can get you straightened out one way or another though, Saint. It's just this specific episode wasn't really I wasn't really going to be going into that. So yeah. Do anybody have questions regarding Audacity? How to use this? Do you have specific questions about? Yay! Danny Martinez, thank you very much for the subscription. All the way back to the beginning. Come on, Audacity. So yeah, if anybody's got any questions about setting up stuff like this, let me know. Now's the perfect time to ask. I'm actually gonna move this all the way down here, get them back in their original order. If I wanted to, I could save this as a project file for Audacity, but there's probably no point. Normally, I don't do that. I just export the actual output and then get rid of it. All out of copy. Time to switch to water. So yeah, otherwise, I think that about covers things. This is really what I wanted to go into. I know a lot of folks really like the live streams, but generally these Sunday live streams, the editing room, only are about 30 minutes, maybe an hour tops. They've been averaging about 45 minutes as of late. 45 minutes lets me get my point across, answer a couple of questions, and that's it. So that's where it really, really works. Yeah, Stephen Burns says, it's a great tool to nullify mic mouth breathers. You get people that have bad mic positioning and they're breathing into the mic constantly. You can actually tune a lot of that out. There's ways where you can basically, you can either manually tune those kind of noises out, or you can just lower the volume a bit where it's not as drastic. Actually, I tell you what, hang on a sec. Let me open up this. I'm going to go over here. And I'm going to copy that. Right here is a link to the Discord for the League of Ordinary Gamers. Please join, make yourself at home, make an account, and we've got different rooms for different purposes. I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of people finding partnerships and other folks to play with when Overwatch launches on Monday or Tuesday. We've got a lot of people that are already getting interested in that. I'm going to be getting interested in that. We've got Minecrafters. We've got some people that are just in it for the editing room stuff and the nerd channels. So yeah, head on over there. You can ask some questions, bounce around in general, and somebody is always there and always active. I do highly recommend, even if you have a full suite of like Adobe software, even if you've got the $50 a month subscription, I really do encourage you to download Audacity and at least mess with it and give it a try. There's a lot of stuff that is super easy to do in Audacity that is a lot harder to do in more expensive software. And it's very, very useful on that front. Beyond that, I want to thank everybody for swinging by on this nice 45 minute episode of The Editing Room. This is going to get reposted later to YouTube. Don't forget, I do this for a living, full time. So even if you can't watch ads, even if you can't do sponsorships or tip jar stuff, at least do me the favor of giving this video a thumbs up later on when you see it. Giving videos a thumbs up for YouTuber helps them, helps with the search routines. It helps getting their metrics up in terms of their videos being easier to find when people search for whatever that video is on. So good thumbs up is always a great way to let a YouTuber know that he's done a good job on a video also. And I would greatly appreciate that. Yeah, Iridian Travel X says, Audition is so hard to learn. Thankfully, I know how to use Premiere Pro. Audition is very powerful, but it is so different from all the other editing software, audio editing software I've ever used. It is very different. So I have to relearn a lot of my skills from Audacity. Don't transfer over. Thank you very much, Saint S, for the subscription. So yeah, I do not know if there's going to be an episode of the editing room next Sunday. But do not forget, you can go to vagram.com/streaming, and it's got my calendar. I do keep that calendar up to date. I do try to keep it within, I don't know, a few hours up to date. So it's a good place to check if you ever wonder, hey, is Vagram streaming today? Go to vagram.com/streaming. Just go to vagram.com. It's got all these links and all this stuff. And give it a peruse, give it a look. Otherwise, I am going to see you folks later. Thank you very much for joining me. And have a good Sunday. Bye. Oh, wait a minute. Before I go, let's start up some music again. Ooh. Is Winamp going to cooperate? Yes, Winamp is going to cooperate. Let's go to something nice and calming. I'll see you folks. Oh, I'm always on the Discord. I might not be there in voice, but I'm always there to chat, Saint. Always, always. I'll catch you folks later. Bye-bye.